Thank you for the invitation to come here, even though it is too late for me to catch the next flight. But whatever it is, it was really interesting. You know, it's like, people who are born between 1940 and 1965. You have been in the United States. You know that Cadillac make two types of cars. One is Cadillac Classic. Anybody can get it. The other is Cadillac Limited Edition. I think we all belong to the limited edition. But there are not many left. They are all rusted, or maybe in some garage, or maybe in collector's items. Anyway, the I just want to recapitulate, all the types of correction of signal ventricles. This is original Fontan, 1971, then Croix here. They did almost at the same time. Then all the other modifications, including Marsalities and Norwood. So, most of the things we have heard now, I don't think I can add anything more. The most important thing is Fontan has a continuously involved or a period of 1971. It is an abnormal physiology, circulation. It has got lack of a ventricle to drive the pulmonary blood flow. Systemic and pulmonary circulation is driven by one pumping chamber or pressure head, and lack of pulsatile flow, and high systemic venous pressure. Now, this is our experience. I don't think we have got the complete number, even though it is 2004 to 2009, and then 2019 to till now, or to 2022. It varies from different institutions, starting from Railway Hospital where I started my work, and Madras Medical Mission, and the present hospital, etc. But I could not get the complete list. I mean, the complete follow-up. And ultimately, we have been able to get about 100 cases. But I want to specifically say about the complications we have been having. Now, this PLE people have been talking, we have not seen. I don't know why. The second aspect is, the AB valve incompetence and failure. We have done all sorts of things. Of course, the cardiology people were guiding us, and then later on a stage came, they could not guide us more till now. Now, all sorts of catheter interventions are there. So these are the different types of, the BDGs, hemifontans. I think 773 TCPCs have been done in CHOPS, and this is their follow-up. There has been no morbidity. 20-year survival from freedom from failure has been 98%. Pulmonary hypertension, that is another problem. This is, I think, probably this is what Christian was mentioning about. This is a combined study of Australia and New Zealand, and that is about 683 pages. Yes, already alluded to that. The chronic problems have been late morbidity and mortality, arrhythmia, cyanosis because of systemic venous collateralization, thrombus formation, protein-losing enteropathy, pulmonary AV malformations, somatic growth failure, and systemic venous hypertension, causing all sorts of problems. This also leads to edema, non-healing ulcer, etc. Now, BDG, TCPC. We have done both. And in fact, I was one of the people, I remember maybe 20 years ago in Spain. I got up and said, we believe only in BDG. So many people ask me why. See, our financial backup was like that. Our patients were like that. They could afford only one operation. Where is the question of operating twice? How many people we can operate twice? Even though, even now, if you say economically, India is progressing and it has become the fifth largest economy in the world. Just think of our patients. This is all in the paper. Same repetition. Failing fondation. That is low cardiac output, increased central venous pressure, high lymphatic and splanchnic venous pressure, which causes protein losing enteropathy, chronic loss of oncotic pressure, and fluid extravasation. Now, this is only one case what we have seen. This is plastic bronchitis, bronchiolitis, probably the psychosocial, adults and sexual problems, all those things. I don't think anybody comes and says all these things to you. Now, starting 1 year after Fontan, our usual routine is 6 to 12 months visits, ECG echo, annual lab, not very sophisticated. Second year iron studies, and 10-year cardiac catheterization. Very, very rarely we have done. We have never done a liver biopsy.
Hello everyone, I am Ranjita and I had first met Dr. K.M. Cherian in the year 92 when I was diagnosed with a congenital heart disease, a single ventricle disorder. I was first operated by him in the year 93 when I was about 5 months of age. I underwent a pulmonary artery banding, and later on in the year 2006 in the month of May, I underwent a Fontan repair, and it has been about 17 years post-op now. I have been leading a healthy normal life. I finished my MBBS. I finished my MS ophthalmology. Currently, I'm pursuing a fellowship in corneal transplantations and refractive surgeries. All the success.
My greetings to all the doctors. My name is Varalakshmi Devi and I am 40 years old. I was born in 1983 with a single ventricle. In 1991, when I was 9 years old, I underwent Senning surgery at Vijaya Hospital, Chennai, performed by Dr. Cherian. After this, I
must tell you, you will ask, why did you do a sending? That is why I was talking about the cardiologist. There was nobody to make a diagnosis. Today you all talk, all sorts of high-flown stuff. There was nobody to make a diagnosis. In fact, what this girl had a hypoplastic left ventricle with single atrium, something and all. In the end, I thought, we have to get into some sort of way, see that There will be some flow into the systemic ventricle and some flow into the. That is how I did a sending for that.
The first one is a very special session where Dr. K.M. Cherian will be interviewed live by Dr. Tom Carl, and he's going to tell us about his journey of congenital heart surgery, travails and triumphs.
Well, you've certainly had many opportunities to work in high-profile units around the world, yet to the great benefit of this region, you chose India. Why did you do that, and how difficult was that decision for you? It must have been a temptation at certain points during your career when things were very difficult.
Well, it's a very difficult question. Number one, in spite of the fact that I was a migrant to Australia and having a green card in United States, having worked with all these people, I had a lot of job opportunities. But I thought, let me go back to India and see what I can do, what I have learned, whether I'll be able to reproduce there. That was one of the reasons. And secondly, I'm not saying that I did anything for the cardiac surgery, but I was looking for a good place to come. Dr. Gopinath, when he came to Sydney, and he was really surprised to see me doing an aortic valve replacement, because I believe at that time, 1971, 72, the aortic valve replacement mortality in India was 100%. And so he saw me doing aortic valve replacement, and he was very happy, and being a pure vegetarian, and my wife used to cook for him. He likes idli and sambar and all, especially in Sydney. And so he said, why don't you come to India? I'll give you a job in All India Institute. No hard feelings. So I thought, yeah, that's a good place. Then I realized that people like M.R. Girinal, P. Venugopal, I.M. Rao, they are all there. I said, I am not going to fight with these guys. They will put me down. So no All India Institute. The other was Stanley John. Same thing. Stanley John threw away everybody who worked with him. B.S. Bhatti, D.W. Thomas, a lot of people were there. So Vellore was also out. The only other place was Railway Hospital. We didn't have anything there. So you can have a good start. And there was one man who was very keen, even though he could not operate. But he was very keen that cardiothoracic surgery should be started. That is my namesake, Dr. T. Jacharian. He gave all the encouragement. That is how we started the Railway Hospital. And the fifth case which I did in railways, one Friday I arrived, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I did ASD, pulmonary valvotomy, one aortic valvotomy, and the next case was a coronary artery bypass. But I didn't know I was doing the first bypass in the country. We were, we didn't have a headlight, of course, I started using specs only 5 years ago. We didn't have a loop. We didn't have 70 proline or no proline at all. So it was all 80 interrupted silk stitches, and the patient did well. And then I came to know that this is the first successful coronary artery graft. So after that, subsequently, whatever I did was the first case. So how can I go back to Australia or US? I will be nowhere. So I thought this is the best place. So from that, I was very lucky to have had good friendship, collaboration, mentorship, or whatever you call it. One is Marcelletti, the other is Barbaro Marcel, then Francis Fontan. So all these people became my good friends, guides, and advisors. This is Dr. Francis Fontan. inspecting the building which we were building. I was building a medical college in Pondicherry. He being a Frenchman, he was very much interested in seeing that. So anyway, I had good time with Dr. Francis Fontan. I have stayed with him at least 4 times. And lastly, I want to show you one slide that is mainly regarding pathology. University of Chicago, Christ University, and NHI. They had 7,500 specimens. And they thought that I'd be able to use it. So I have those specimens. One is Morris Love, the other young lady is Saroja Bharati. So we are planning to conduct a small workshop, something like put the whole thing on a platform, which will be available anywhere in the world. And I want to make use of these specimens. I think we are the largest collection of cardiac pathology specimens in the whole world. The same way, we have more than 2,100 slides only on conduction bundle. So you are all welcome. We'll fix up a date. That's all I wanted to convey. As far as subject is concerned, I'm an old man, I'm zero.